Good evening, all. I think I'm the last speaker of this session. So I'll be covering IoT-enabled system for station, which is nothing but non-traction assets. Uh, I'm coming from a company called L&T Electrical and Automation. It is now part of Schneider Electric, and in this company, we are having various groups for supporting requirement of and customers starting from product group called ESP Electrical Standard Product, which is having variety of product presence in India almost now they are having presence in this country for almost 70 years. Then we have a business group which is supporting requirement of control and automation. We are having separate business unit which is supporting requirement of metering. They operate from Azure, and then we have another group called ESC, which is supporting requirement of systems, largely for supporting medium voltage requirement. So just to give you a quick background about this group, L&T Electrical and Automation, and one of the largest group of L&T Electrical and Automation is ESP Electrical Standard Product. So we are having a range of products starting from power gear to control gear, final distribution product which is required for supporting panel distribution requirement, metering and protection system business in which we are having IC, panels, power quality solution for supporting requirement of various power quality related challenges, panel accessories, agri products which we are supporting to meet requirement of agriculture sector, and then industrial automation products. So now I'm covering today topic which is around station. So you might have noticed like almost every company is now focusing on digitalization strategy. The major reason of digitalization is like they want to improve customer experience, they want to change business model, and they are trying to basically achieve improvement in operation efficiency. And then various factors are even enabling transformation starting from social media to mobile to analytics, cloud. So many things are happening. And apart from this thing, we are even noticing like convergence of OT, IT, which is supporting now requirement of IoT, industrial Internet of Things, and then industrial IoT. So apart from this thing, now companies are focusing on digital transformation because of one more reason, which is nothing but sustainability is the objective. And from sustainability's perspective, overall, we're not doing good. If you consider current situation, by 2023, probably will be following track of 2.4 degree rise, which means if you're not taking significant measure in terms of reducing or decarbonization, by 2100, we'll be having 2.4 degree rise compared to the pre-industrialization era. And from that perspective, we need to do a lot in terms of supporting sustainability requirement. Now, to achieve sustainability objective requirement, we need to use technologies. So a lot of technologies are available. So I'm going to cover IoT today. So from railways perspective, in station we are having many assets starting from lift, we are having accelerators, we are having sometime solar rooftop panels also for supporting renewable generation requirement. We are having lighting system for supporting street lighting requirement, system for supporting even requirement for 3070 lighting scheme just to support saving of energy. And then we are having various types of metering system for supporting requirement of station. Now, if you notice, like in any IoT system, you'll be having things which is connected with edge gateway sometime. Sometime it is directly connected with next level of system, which is nothing but IoT core platform. And then in core platform, you'll be having layers for supporting data ingestion requirement. Post that, you'll be having something for supporting requirement of firmware upgrade, something for supporting data collection requirement, messaging, alerting, and then many other things. And then on top of that, you'll be having application, which is going to support vertical specific requirements. So for example, you'll be having something to support requirement of visualization, something to support requirement of analytics, something to support requirement of reporting. So this is a typical architecture of any IoT platform. Now, I'm just covering quickly one of the important point because it is something which is linked with edge gateway. So what I have noticed is like in 2021, TS has published kind of practice document for supporting requirement of commercial IoT, in which they are mentioning like, we don't need to use universal password in our gateways, IoT gateways. We need to use concept of least privileges. Organizations are supposed to disclose vulnerability in their product. We need to harden our products, which means IoT gateway. We need to support concept of firmware over the air upgrades, because today whatever we are having in IoT gateway doesn't mean that it is going to support all the security requirement. Probably someone will be claiming like today, we don't have any vulnerability in our product, but doesn't mean that after 1 year from now, they'll be making same statement, because security landscapes are changing very frequently. And we need to consider this aspect of even upgrading firmware from remote location, because it's not possible for us to practically plan firmware upgrade at local level, which means we need to have system which can support requirement of firmware upgrade. We need to even support concept of firmware signing, which means we need to have some mechanism of identifying whether firmware is genuine or not. And for that, we need to support concept of firmware signing and secure boot. So this is something which is there in commercial IoT. We need to even support secure communication between IoT gateway and then next level of system. So these are the things which is there in commercial IoT space, which I believe, which I feel is like even going to be relevant for supporting requirement of non-traction assets of railway. And those who are supporting, those who are going to support requirement of IoT edge gateway for supporting digitalization of station needs to follow concept of secure development lifecycle practice, which means during development stage, if their organizations are following secure development lifecycle practice, which is having 8 different practices of supporting requirement of development, starting from secure requirement to secure design, secure coding or implementation, secure VNV, vulnerability and verification and validation stage, and post that they are supposed to release security guideline, which means product is supporting requirement of security. Those who are going to use this product needs to understand what is supported in the product, and based on that, based on this information, they are supposed to configure system to meet requirement of overall security. So these are the 5 key area of development. But apart from this thing, for supporting overall life cycle, this agile practice is supporting requirement of security management, security defect management, and update management. So which is going to be kind of life cycle phase of any development. So what I'm trying to bring here is like we need to consider whenever we are planning any IoT-based development, security almost from the beginning. We need to follow this concept of secure by design. We need to follow practices in development area which will support requirement of secure development lifecycle practice. And apart from this thing, things which I have noticed in case of meeting industry is like meeting industry is using a lot of cellular connectivity, but they are making sure that whenever they are going to use cellular connectivity, they will not use public SIM. They will be always using M2M SIM. Along with that, they are even using the concept of private APN, which means they are creating private APN for supporting their specific requirement, which is another kind of defense mechanism for limiting attacks which is coming over the network. So this is something which is there in the commercial IoT space. It is something which is there in even metering space. And I feel like this is something which needs to be even adopted in supporting the requirement of IoT application in railway application. Now, to modernize station, which is needed for improving overall user experience, a lot of things are happening. Like if we notice like situation of current railway station versus station which was there in, let's say, 2000, a lot of things are changing now. We are having lifts, we are having accelerators, which is improving overall experience of the user, commuters. We are having lighting system for supporting requirement of lighting in platforms. We are having a lot of water which we need to use in passenger train for supporting requirement of passenger train. So which means we are having solution for supporting requirement of pumping, and then we are having a lot of loads which is there in platform. For that we are having metering requirement in the station. And now we are even noticing like just to support decarbonization initiative, just to promote usage of more and more renewable energy, we are noticing like railways are even using now solar rooftop concept to reduce overall electricity requirement, which is coming from grid. And then apart from this thing, we are having challenges related maintaining power factor, so which means we can have application to support requirement of power factor correction. We can have something for supporting requirement of monitoring life of the transformer. So almost everything is something which is needed for supporting requirement of providing better experience to the end user. Now, in traditional way, people used to provide IoT solution in which we were having silos of applications. So which means if someone is supporting elevator, they will be providing complete IoT application which will support elevator requirement. If someone is supporting, let's say, lighting requirement, they will be providing solution to support requirement of lighting requirement. If someone is supporting, let's say, solar requirement, they'll be providing IoT-based solution for supporting solar requirement. So we were having this concept of silos earlier in the IoT system level, which is now changing because of now people are promoting open protocol. And recently we have noticed like there's protocol called, or rather standard called 1M2M, which is supporting requirement of openness in terms of developing IoT platform. It is something which is going to help anyone in terms of avoiding vendor locking, which is a major concern from end user perspective. So if you notice, like in my previous slide, I have mentioned traditional architecture of IoT application, which is now changing from traditional to different approach. So what we are noticing is like CDOT has developed a platform called CCSP platform, CDOT Common Services Platform, which is based on 1M2M standard. And this platform is supporting variety of communication. It is not supporting only one technology for supporting communication requirement. It is supporting communication technologies like or protocols like MQTT to HTTPS to CoAP to many. So, and this standard is open standard, which means tomorrow, let's say if a new standard is coming, it can adopt a new standard also for supporting requirement of open IoT platform requirement. And then on top of that, we'll be having app called Niyantrak, IR Niyantrak app, which will support data collection of all the assets to support requirement of Indian Railway. So this is what actually we have noticed recently. And then apart from this thing, if you notice like 1M2M architecture, it is defining certain things in 1M2M. So for example, if you refer this architecture, we are having ASN node, which is nothing but application service node, which is connected with the meter, type of IoT gateway, which is connected with meter, which is not falling under 1M2M device category. That is why we are calling it Node-EN application, Node-EN device. Okay. So gateway is taking information from metering device, showing this information using one of the protocol called MQTT, but doesn't mean that we can use only one protocol. We can use for different application, different type of protocol depending on the needs. So we are having at field domain side, gateways, sensors which are connected with each other, providing information to the infrastructure domain. And then at infrastructure domain, we are having platforms like CCSP platform, which is nothing but open IoT platform. Beyond that, we are having a application which is developed by Chris, or Chris is planning to develop this application called IR Niyantrak for supporting requirement of supporting assets which is there in railway station. So if we need to discuss different application which is there in case of stations, so we are having one simple application, like we need to support requirement of sub-metering. So in sub-metering, you will be covering requirement of various types of metering, starting from your incomer meter, your feeder meter, your meter which is supporting renewable requirements. So technically you can hook all types of meters with the help of this application. So we'll be offering kind of control panel, which will be having IoT gateway, which we'll be using for retrieving information from the meter, and then it will be showing information to CCSP platform. So there's one application which is required in case of station. Another application is like 30-70 lighting scheme. So which means whenever there is no passenger train planned in the platform or not available in the platform, you can reduce overall lighting. You can probably provide lighting maybe up to 30% level. And whenever you're noticing like train is going to come in some certain platform, then you will be adding additional 70% of the lighting, which means you'll be having full lighting capacity of that particular platform. So for supporting this requirement, again, we are having control panel, which will have edge gateway along with controller, which can interact with contractors for supporting requirement of on-off. And then through this controller, we can even take status of the 30-70 lighting scheme. And then in the same panel, we can have metering device also. If there is no separate metering is planned for supporting lighting load, just in case if it is not there. Otherwise, it is going to be something which is going to be part of LT panel solution. Then we are having a solution which is very similar to previous solution. So there is no significant difference in terms of scheme in case of 3070 or street lighting, more or less we'll be having same hardware, same architecture for supporting street lighting as well as 3070 scheme requirement. Then we are having application for supporting lift and accelerator requirement. So with the help of drives, which is there in lift and accelerator, or with the help of controller, which is there in lift and accelerator, we can collect the status information from the lift and accelerator, and then with the help of controller and edge gateway, we can throw this information to IoT platform. And then apart from this thing, we are having a solution to meet requirement of pumping. So in case of pumping, you'll be having variety of sensors starting from flow meter to pressure sensor to level transmitter, just in case you are having overhead tanks and you need to monitor even level of tanks. For that, you'll be connecting sensor with controller. And then with the help of this system, you can even cover requirement of pumping solution. So overall, with the help of IoT system, which I'm sharing in this slide is like, or in previous slide is like, you can achieve standardization, because if you notice, like, components are more or less common in all 4 or 5 or 6 different applications. So you can achieve standardization. You don't need to really coordinate with site team in terms of planning, like which asset, which control panel needs to be planned for supporting any specific application requirement, because we are planning standardization in terms of delivering or offering control panel. It's supporting scalable architecture, because CCSP is the platform which can support thousands and millions of assets integration. So which means it is going to support open protocol and supporting integration with CCSP platform, which means it can support requirement of scalability. So you can roll out the scheme in many station. Solution is plug and play, so it is not requiring significant configuration in terms of installing any control panel. And then ease of maintenance. So we are following certain concepts during design, which is making sure that it will not require frequent maintenance of our components and product. So this is what actually I wanted to cover here. In previous session, we were having a lot of discussion around cyber security and other things, OT security. So that is why I covered even things which is going to even support requirement of IoT gateway security, and we need to really consider this aspect of secure by design whenever we are designing any product or any system for supporting any new application requirement. Thank you.